to unpack this 136-125 win for the Chicago Bulls over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Second win against the Cavs in the last 3 days. Cam Smith with my man Kendall Gill, 15-year NBA pro. We saw so much good from this Bulls team, offensively, defensively as well. We'll get into both of those areas, KG, but this is back-to-back games for this team, speaking of offense, where they've had 7 players in double figures. Matas Buzelis and Nikola Vucevic tied with team highs at 24 points.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a wonderful job of moving the basketball around. In the beginning of the game, it looked like we were back to those same old Bulls where they might have been asleep because they were in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got down 11-0.
Not too much going on in Cleveland, according to Joakim Noah. So they probably got to the arena, a little dozy and everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But then they woke up. And then they started playing the brand of basketball that's been successful for them throughout the whole season, at the beginning of the season. And what I was most impressed with, once again, the bench.
Yes.
Bench throwing in 55 points tonight. Of course, Tre Jones leading the way. And we talked about Tre Jones in the green room, about what a calming force he is for this Bulls team. Yeah. Whenever they need a bucket, whenever they need a big defensive play, whenever they need to make the right pass, it's always that guy.
It's always Tre Jones, for sure.
It's always Tre Jones doing it. So, he is doing a wonderful job coming off of the bench. And, I thought that Ayo played pretty well tonight, considering he still had 2 sprained thumbs. So everybody, in my opinion, was impressive tonight.
I mean, Tre Jones, 16 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 6 assists, a couple of steals. I'm going to start giving them the Mike Jones treatment, the rapper Mike Jones. Whenever you say Tre Jones' name, you just say, who? Tre Jones. Who? Tre Jones, because he steps up night in and night out on both ends of the floor, KG. It's refreshing and really uplifting to have a player like this in your rotation.
It is. And, one of the things that I've noticed that these NBA teams don't respect his three-point shooting.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, every time they pass the basketball to him, he's wide open. But guess what? That's not going to last long.
No.
Okay, because I know he is on the scouting report. And I like, hey, Trey, thanks for giving me a mid-range. We actually saw 3 mid-range shots today, which you guys know I love. Matas Buzelis took one.
Yeah.
Nikola Vucevic took one there off of the glass, a la Sam Jones from the Boston Celtics, and Tre Jones. And I like the way that Trey, and this is his basketball IQ, recognizing that, okay, we've gone 1 of 10 in the third quarter with 3-point shots. I'm going to take it inside now. And he started that movement for the Bulls to attack the paint. By the way, once again, the Bulls having 60 points in the paint tonight. A lot of that can be attributed to Tre Jones starting to attack the paint in the second half.
Look, I love it when the Bulls execute a mid-range shot, goes in, and you hear Kendall in the green room say, ain't nothing wrong with a little mid-range. Ain't nothing wrong with a little mid-range.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little mid-range. It still works, believe me.
No doubt about that. All right, let's go to that third quarter, because that's when things started to kind of slip away for this Bulls team. They led by as many as 14 points, but in that third quarter started to take a lot of threes. There were misses, and we saw the Cleveland Cavaliers really take advantage. And it was more so guys off of the bench for Cleveland.
Quick shots. Also, the Bulls having a couple of turnovers that they should not have had allowed this Cleveland Cavaliers. You see one right there. You allowed this Cleveland Cavaliers team to get back into this game. I was a little concerned. However, with these guys all together, I know that at some point they are going to reel themselves in as well as this Cleveland Cavaliers team. They did a great job of coming back. Let's not forget the Cleveland Cavaliers came back to take the lead.
They did. Yes, they did.
And now the Bulls pull away and win by 11. I mean, it's great.
You have those moments of adversity, and you know this better than anybody, KG. When you're in an NBA game for 48 minutes, you're going to have your highs and your moments where there's going to be challenges, where just human nature, where you start to take your foot off the gas a little bit, and you have that opponent really rev up their energy. And we saw that from the Cleveland Cavaliers in the third quarter, but credit to the Bulls by staying locked in.
We did, but that's where Billy said, okay, I'm going to put Tre Jones in the game to right the ship.
Who?
Put him back in to right the ship and do what he needs to do, and that's exactly what he did. He's a pure point guard. He understands. I mean, I know that the day and age has gone for the Rod Stricklands and the Isaiah Thomases and the Muggsy Bogues and all those pure point guards, but he comes from that cloth. He's cut from that cloth, okay, because he understands the time, he understands the situations, and he gets the Bulls to where they can deal with the situations that they have to deal with, and that's what you saw in the third quarter here. I mean, in my opinion, when he came in the game, it totally changed
the
rhythm of the game.
Agree.
And that's why this guy is so vital to the success of this team this season.
It's the patience, it's the poise of Tre Jones, just a guy that settles everything down. We were talking about this in the green room of when he comes into the ball game. It's not just the scoring aspect, but it's really getting an offensive rebound for the team and kind of bringing it back out, saying, hey, guys, let's settle down. Let's get something good on this possession, whether it's penetrating the score for himself or dishing out to players for plays of their own. You just have someone in there that understands time and score and also momentum. And when he makes his plays and makes his decision, you're like, yes, we're glad that he's on our side.
Right, and you know this, Cam, because you were a point guard.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. The way that Trey was moving tonight, okay, he goes in the lane. He's not in a hurry. He's taking his time. He's eating up clock. He understands that now the clock is against the Cleveland Cavaliers, so I'm going to take my time and come down and run the offense correctly. Let's get about 4 or 5 passes before we shoot the basketball instead of coming down and jacking up a three-point shot. That was all done by a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that quarterback's name was Tre Jones.
Yeah, time and score, young point guards. I know you're out there somewhere. Time and score.
And if Caleb gets hurt,
important.
if Caleb gets hurt tomorrow, Tre Jones.
Tre Jones, put him in. Now let's go into our Toyota play of the game, and it's going to involve the Bulls scrambling for this basketball to keep it alive, and ended up in the hands of one Kevin Huerter in the corner. KG, what music was playing when this sequence was happening?
Old Benny Hill music. You guys remember Benny Hill, okay? That's exactly what happened in this sequence. But the Bulls did a great job. You see Josh Giddey once again finding Kevin Huerter in the corner, him knocking down the three-point shot. But, you know, I was like, what is going on with this? This looked like the Keystone Cop.
I was just praying to the basketball guys that this ended on a positive note for the Bulls, because this was one of those moments where things were getting a little dicey in terms of the score and what they were in charge of in terms of the scoreboard. So Kevin Huerter knocking down 3 of his 14 points there. But, yeah, we got to throw the Benny Hill music on this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You notice, even though it was erratic, 4 or 5 passes broke down this Cleveland Cavaliers defense. Look at those guys. They're in the paint.
KG.
Nowhere near Kevin Huerter on that three-point shot. So the thing is, you don't have to come down and just jack a 3 up. Move the basketball around, get some movement, and you will find the open man eventually.
Even though it was chaos, you saw them settle down and settle in. Right before that pass from Giddey over to Kevin Huerter for that 3, you just saw everyone, all 5 red jerseys, work in tandem, getting back into that play call, that play set, the rotation there, and really lack of rotation for the Cavaliers, leaving one of the best three-point shooters for this Bulls team alone by himself in the corner for 3. So it's those moments where that's where the camaraderie comes in, the discipline comes in, where you can make those plays to really put yourself in a stronger position on the scoreboard.
No, look, you know, I used to watch the Boston Celtics play when they were in their heyday. That's exactly what they did. Move the basketball around until they get the shot that they wanted. I saw the Detroit Pistons do that a number of times to the Chicago Bulls when the Bulls were trying to get over that hurdle. And I played against the Chicago Bulls when they needed a good basket. We all knew who it was going to go to.
Right.
When they needed a bucket, but they moved the basketball until they got it to 2-3. Okay, and when they got it to that guy, you know, 9 times out of 10, it turned out into a bucket.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but that's the same thing that the Bulls, you saw them do tonight. They moved the basketball specifically in the fourth quarter after that erratic third quarter, and they got good quality shots. They took the ball to the basket, stopped shooting all of those threes. They got 3 happy there for a little bit.
They did.
But then, once again, Tre Jones comes in, and he directs the offense the way it should have been directed.
Shout out to my man, Kendall Gill, because we're going to segue right into more detail of that fourth quarter, specifically the clutch moments. And this is another clutch game for this Bulls team. They're 17th of the year. They're now 9-8 in these clutch games. And you talk about the ball movement, KG. You see it there. Tre Jones to Vooch. Vooch had a monster game, 24 points, 15 rebounds. Great to see that. But then Kobe White stepped up and made some plays for this team as well.
Now, Kobe made some really nice plays tonight. You know, I actually got a few lucky rolls there, friendly rolls, I should say. And, you know, I thought that once Tre Jones came in the game, everybody began to get more confident. You see Tre Jones right here taking his time, using the angle, going up on Darius Garland right there and using the glass. And look at this. Look how slow and deliberate the offense is when you need a bucket. And Kobe White, I'm going to tell you guys, you see that footwork right there? Kobe White has worked on his footwork in the offseason as well. Now this, Vooch, I love you for this.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of range, right, KG?
At 15 feet. It is possible, guys. I'm glad that Vooch didn't settle for the three-point shot. And previous to that shot, Vooch knocked down the three.
He did.
But he had the right presence of mind. I'm going to take a couple dribbles in and pull up and take the uncontested mid-range shot, and it went down.
I mean, I understand that they are NBA guys, very skillful, some of the best players, if not the best players, and we agree on this. They are the best players in the world when it comes to the game of basketball. Mm-hmm. But getting back to that Vooch mid-range, off the fake, going right, and knocking it off the glass on the right side. Going left and knocking it off the glass on the right side. That's not an easy shot, given the situation, too, when you need a bucket.
No, it's not an easy shot. And here's the thing. This is why pros go off of the glass, because they are going too fast off of the dribble. So we're always taught, and a lot of fans don't know this, but we're always taught when you're going too fast, pull up and shoot the ball off of the glass, because it's more of a high percentage shot than trying to shoot it dead on. That's why Vooch went off the glass on that one play.
All right, man, you're getting free game right now, as you always are from Kendall Gill. 15 years in the league. You know he knows what he's talking about.
That's what you got to do.
You definitely got to do that. And as I mentioned, Vooch tied for team high when it comes to points for this Bulls group tonight at 24. And the person that tied him, Matas Buzelis, KG. We saw him at all three levels get his bucket, starting with his three here, but he did it from the paint where he got some mid-range shots, some dunks, some threes. Matas had it on display tonight.
Hey, look, I'm getting a lot of pushback on Twitter. People saying, but Kendall Gill thinks that, Matas is better than Cooper Flagg. Well, I'm getting that all the time.
Come on now.
But listen, guys. Listen, guys. Both of them are great players.
Yes.
Both of them are young. Okay? We're not going to be able to settle this debate until they're done playing. That could be double-digit years from now. But you see Matas, how he has played the past two games. You see what he is capable of. And when Matas is in rhythm and when he is aggressive, these are the type of games he can turn out each and every game if he really wants to. Look, this guy's supposed to be a junior in college, guys.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's putting up 24 points against a team that, they're hurt, but still a team that was projected to be a championship caliber team at the beginning of the season. Yeah. And Matas is doing a great job. He's coming along. Now the team is together, and he's going to have a lot more of these games, because now, guess what? He has help. He's not the focal point of the offense. He's not the second or third option anymore. He's the fourth option. And when you're the fourth option playing with guys the way that he's playing, you get a lot more looks, which is what he got tonight. Now, all you guys on Twitter, how you like them apples? As my grandfather used to say.
KG wants all the smoke on social media right now, and I'm definitely there to back him up, man. You have a guy that, again, you're seeing what he can be offensively. But we were talking about this in the green room on the defensive end of the floor. 2 blocks, 2 steals. You're seeing him, especially with his activity and also his timing, too, as a 21-year-old, second year in the NBA.
Yeah.
He does a phenomenal job of timing his blocks and blocking shots without fouling.
He does, and we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg as far as Matas, both offensively and defensively. At 6'10", wingspan, his ability to get off of the floor, and as you mentioned, his timing and his athleticism, I think Matas could possibly be one all defensive guy.
No doubt.
He can be. We saw him block a number of shots today, and also, like I said, he just needs to be taught how to slide. Mm-hmm. Once he learns how to slide and use his arms correctly on the defensive end, he is going to be a monster on the defensive end.
That's why I'm trying to manifest that defensive segment with KG and Matas Buzelis over at the Advocate Center across the street, so we can really get that in.
Yeah, let's get it in, man.
Yeah,
because, Matas is a key part of what this team does, both on the offensive and defensive end. I love to show him these techniques so he becomes a better defensive player.
And we saw Matas speaking with KC Johnson post-game, got his time in the spotlight with KC. And KC mentioned the double big lineups of how Matas was moved to the 3. And Matas said that he's comfortable and confident in any position or anywhere that he plays on the court. But with these double big lineups, we're seeing more success with Billy Donovan, whether it's Vooch along with Jalen Smith along with Zach Collins with Vooch. So you have those opportunities where you get bigger on the defensive end, especially on the backside when they're playing that 2-3 zone. But then also, KG, they forced the Cavs into 15 turnovers tonight. They forced them into 20 on Wednesday. And this is a Cavaliers team entering tonight's ball game that had the 6th fewest turnovers in the NBA, which they average per game. So defensively, the Bulls, that profile raises on the defensive end.
Yeah, and the Bulls scored 14 points off of those turnovers. And you talk about the double big lineup, that's old school basketball. You got a power forward, you have your center, you have your small forward, your 2 guard, and your point guard. I believe that's another reason why Matas had great success tonight and why he was able to score 24 points, because he's not in there battling those big guys. And when he's moved to the small forward position, he has an advantage size-wise. At 6'10", athletic, he can just overpower guys. You saw him bring the basketball up on the one fast break and just go right to the rack. And that's because the big guys aren't guarding him. He's playing against guys maybe 3-4 inches shorter than he is at that size.
Do you think that we're getting to a point in the NBA now, and it's not just with the Bulls, we saw it last year more with the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously with them winning the NBA championship and teams trying to combat what the Thunder are and what they do with the double bigs. We've seen the Houston Rockets in the offseason add more size to their team. It feels like more teams are adding that double big lineup to really put pressure on their opponents, and the Bulls are finding success, at least against the Cavaliers, with that double big lineup.
Always come back around to the way it used to be. Okay?
Gotcha.
You got your center, you got your power forward. You can create mismatches now in today's era because a lot of teams don't play double bigs. They go with small ball, which does work at times. But when you have the advantage of two big guys in there, against guys 6'6", 6'5", my size, 6'7", 6'8", it gives you a tremendous advantage. And we've seen that now for the past 4 games with the Bulls using that double big lineup, and it's just worked. It's just going back to old school basketball. That's all.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on Toyota Bulls Post Game Live. We got more coming your way, including hearing from Bulls head coach Billy Donovan after this 136-125 win